Increasingly in the UK, prenuptial agreements are seen as a way for couples to ensure that in the event of the worst, that their assets are protected. Welcome to Diplock Solicitor's Guide to Prenuptial Agreements. In this video, we'll seek to set out the broad basics of establishing a prenuptial agreement between a couple and what that entails. And from the outset, it needs to be said that your specific situation will largely depend on your assets and what your intentions are. Depending on how large your estate is, then that will have a direct impact on the advice you receive. So this should just be seen as extremely general advice for people who are just interested in the subject. To put it simply, a prenuptial agreement is an agreement between a couple before marriage that in the event of the marriage breaking down, assets will be split in a certain way and there will be no dispute over this if the marriage does happen to break down. For a long time there was a question on whether or not these were even binding in the UK or worth the paper they're written on. There were many cases where people disputed the prenuptial agreement they signed and successfully got it set aside effectively. However, today, thanks to the Supreme Court and later a review by the Law Commission, the law on this subject is much more settled. In general, a prenuptial agreement must meet the following criteria before it can be considered valid. That being, the agreement must have been made at least 28 days before the wedding. There should be a full disclosure of the wider financial circumstances of both parties. Both parties must have received independent legal advice. Finally, it must be proven that both parties have entered the agreement freely. If you are considering getting a prenuptial agreement, under no circumstances should you do this yourself using Google or other guides available online. Contact a professional solicitor today. Diplock Solicitors has a specialist family law department, including the ability to offer prenuptial services as well as divorce, childcare arrangements and a plethora of other services. Contact us today either by phone or email on the number and email on your screen, and subscribe for regular legal content. Thank you so much for watching.